You probably think your marketing job is safe because your company hasn't announced mass layoffs, but billion-dollar brands have already started replacing you in complete silence. We are witnessing a seismic shift in the corporate landscape, one that doesn't make the front page of financial news, but is quietly reshaping the future of employment. Welcome to the era of the silent layoff, where the empty desk next to yours is never filled, and the software update on your computer suddenly takes over half your daily tasks. Fortune 500 companies have discovered a brilliant, ruthless new playbook to cut costs and improve their bottom line without anyone noticing. It is happening right now, right in your department, and you might be the next target without ever receiving a single warning.
This phenomenon is known as quiet replacement. Unlike the bloody, highly publicized layoffs that crash stock prices and destroy company morale, quiet replacement is a carefully calculated surgical operation. It is the sophisticated process of significantly reducing a workforce without ever actually firing a single employee. Instead of handing out pink slips, executives are simply letting natural attrition take its course, while simultaneously enforcing strict hiring freezes and integrating highly advanced artificial intelligence. The ultimate result is a drastically leaner organization that operates at the exact same or often much higher capacity. This silent strategy is actively saving massive corporations millions of dollars in operational costs while maintaining an impeccable public relations image and avoiding market panic.
To truly understand why billion-dollar brands are pivoting to this stealthy approach, we have to examine the traditional layoff model. When a massive corporation publicly announces it is cutting 10,000 jobs, absolute chaos ensues. The media writes scathing articles, consumer trust drops significantly, remaining employees become paralyzed by intense anxiety, and rival competitors immediately swoop in to steal top talent. It is a terrifying public relations nightmare that can take years for a brand to recover from. Modern executives have realized that making these dramatic announcements is a massive strategic blunder. By avoiding the word layoff entirely, they prevent internal panic, keep the remaining workforce highly productive, and completely protect their brand equity.
The very first pillar of the silent layoff is strategic attrition. Every single year, a certain percentage of employees voluntarily leave a company to pursue other career opportunities, retire, or relocate. Historically, corporate human resources departments would immediately post job listings to replace these departing workers. However, that is not happening anymore. Today, when someone hands in their 2 weeks' notice, that role is quietly absorbed, restructured, or completely eliminated from the roster. Management will often frame this as a temporary pause or a slight team restructuring, but the underlying reality is that the position is permanently gone. It is a slow, entirely invisible drain on the company headcount that nobody questions.
The second critical pillar is the infinite hiring freeze. If you look very closely at major professional job boards right now, you will notice an absolute abundance of ghost jobs. These are deceptive listings that companies keep active solely to project an image of aggressive growth to investors and competitors, but they have absolutely no intention of actually hiring anyone. Internal hiring budgets have been covertly slashed to zero. The hiring freeze acts as an invisible, impenetrable wall. It strictly stops any new personnel expenses from entering the corporate system, while attrition continuously drains the existing payroll. This ultimately creates a massive gap in daily productivity, which perfectly sets the stage for the final solution.
Let us examine a highly prominent real-world example. In recent times, major tech conglomerates like IBM made massive headlines, not for conducting mass firings, but for explicitly stating they would pause hiring for thousands of roles that could be comfortably replaced by artificial intelligence over the next few years. They identified massive segments of their back-office operations, human resources departments, and routine data management sectors that no longer required any human intervention. By openly admitting that AI will take over these administrative tasks, they signaled a massive paradigm shift to the entire market. They are not explicitly firing the current employees. They are just never going to hire their replacements once they eventually decide to leave.
The financial technology giant Klarna took this aggressive concept even further. They recently deployed a sophisticated AI assistant that successfully handled the immense workload of 700 full-time customer service agents within its very first month of operation. The advanced AI managed massive volumes of customer inquiries, reduced resolution times dramatically, and maintained remarkably high customer satisfaction scores. For any billion-dollar brand, this represents the ultimate holy grail of business operations. It decisively proves that massive operational scale does not require a proportionately massive human workforce. The financial math is undeniably perfect. Why continually pay the salaries, benefits, and office space for hundreds of workers when a highly efficient software infrastructure can do it flawlessly?
While customer service and basic back-office jobs were the very first to be aggressively automated, marketing departments are currently sitting directly in the crosshairs. Historically, a robust global marketing campaign required a very large team of specialized human professionals working around the clock. Today, an integrated AI marketing suite can instantly draft complex email sequences, generate countless variations of ad copy, optimize strategic bidding, and analyze vast consumer sentiment in real time. The creative director who previously managed a team of 10 junior copywriters now only needs one advanced language model to produce the exact same volume of work.
The actual integration of this disruptive technology into the daily workflow is intentionally seamless and highly deceptive. Companies absolutely do not introduce AI as a tool to replace you. They warmly introduce it as a helpful co-pilot to help you be more productive and less stressed. They provide expensive enterprise licenses for advanced language models and image generators, actively encouraging all employees to automate their own mundane tasks. But here is the devastating catch. Once you diligently train the AI to do your specific job efficiently, and once corporate leadership realizes that one single person empowered by AI can do the work of 3 people, those remaining 2 positions become entirely redundant. The ultimate optimization trap has been set.
From a purely financial perspective, this specific strategy is an absolute masterstroke for corporate executives. By flawlessly executing a silent layoff, massive corporations are slicing millions of dollars directly off their payroll liabilities without triggering any of the catastrophic negative externalities associated with traditional corporate downsizing. There is absolutely no expensive severance pay. There are no costly outplacement services required. There are no messy lawsuits or aggressive union grievances to battle. The company simply reaps the massive financial benefits of a drastically lowered operational cost base. These massive savings drop straight to the bottom line, artificially boosting quarterly profits and making the executive team look like absolute financial geniuses to their demanding shareholders.
However, this invisible transition creates incredibly intense pressure for the loyal employees who are left behind. When 3 talented people leave a busy marketing department and are purposely never replaced, the remaining staff are forcefully expected to completely absorb that workload by heavily leveraging new technologies. The fundamental skill requirement for your job shifts literally overnight. You are no longer highly paid just to be a good copywriter, a creative designer, or a thorough data analyst. You are now fully expected to be an AI manager, an automation specialist, and a high-level corporate strategist simultaneously.
The volume of output demanded from individual contributors skyrockets, often leading to severe burnout disguised as increased corporate efficiency.
Wall Street absolutely loves this ruthless trend. Powerful institutional investors and aggressive hedge fund managers highly reward any companies that can maintain or rapidly increase their revenue while significantly driving down their total headcount. They fundamentally view human labor as a highly volatile and extremely expensive liability. When a Fortune 500 company successfully demonstrates that it can achieve massive revenue growth while its employee count quietly shrinks month over month, its stock price typically surges. This creates an incredibly powerful financial incentive structure for modern CEOs. The open market actively compensates corporate leadership for executing silent layoffs, heavily ensuring that this aggressive strategy of quiet replacement will only accelerate rapidly in the coming years.
How do you actually know if your specific company is actively implementing a silent layoff? The major red flags are usually hidden right in plain sight. First, pay very close attention to departing colleagues. If their specific roles are not publicly posted within 30 days, the freeze is officially on. Second, aggressively watch for the rapid rollout of expensive enterprise AI tools accompanied by mandatory training sessions heavily focused on increasing individual daily productivity. Third, carefully look out for sudden structural reorganizations where managers are given much wider teams to oversee, but absolutely no additional budget. If you actively see these three signs converging, your department is likely undergoing quiet replacement right now.
Surviving this harsh new corporate reality requires a radical and immediate shift in your professional mindset. You can no longer comfortably rely on being the fastest executor of repetitive manual tasks because a relentless machine will always outpace you eventually. Instead, you must aggressively evolve into a highly strategic operator. You must actively learn how to properly prompt, closely manage, and rigorously audit the complex AI systems that your company is rapidly deploying. Strategically position yourself as the indispensable human oversight that ensures these automated systems do not hallucinate, make critical brand errors, or violate compliance rules. You must become the master architect of the automated workflows rather than just a replaceable cog.
The silent layoffs are not just a temporary economic phase. They represent the permanent, irreversible restructuring of the entire global workforce. Billion-dollar brands have permanently unlocked the ultimate secret to limitless operational scalability, completely without the heavy burden of massive payrolls or the terrible stain of public relations disasters. The fundamental rules of the corporate game have been completely rewritten while nobody was even watching. Your job is not inherently safe just because the terrifying layoff emails haven't been aggressively sent out yet. The real question is whether you will be quietly replaced by the silence, or if you will adapt quickly enough to masterfully orchestrate the noise. Stay sharp and prepare for the future.